It's the second race in the round of 8 from Kansas Speedway in America's heartland. One driver has punched his ticket into the championship 4, and that is Dylan Clark. Will we have one, or will we have two? Find out tonight as we welcome you to live coverage of the National Sim Racing League Cup Series. Tonight, live from the Kansas Speedway, it's the Kansas 300. Good evening, everyone. Marty Sakala with you alongside former NASCAR Coca-Cola Cup Series driver in Ashton Crowder. Ashton, it's the Kansas Speedway. We've had a lot of great 1.5 mile tracks full of racing in the playoffs this season. We had a great one last week at Texas. We had a great race that took place at Las Vegas. This one as well should not disappoint tonight, and the playoff intensity is big.
Yeah, we honestly might see one of the best races of the year here with all the different lines you can run and kind of the dependency as the run goes on for the outside lane. We'll see people like Tyler Isley. I believe he's in here. Is he not? Yeah, he is. Probably see people like him really do some good work up there. So I'm excited to see that. Excited to see how the track progresses as they put rubber down, and I think we're looking forward to a good one here.
Absolutely, we should be. There you see a man that came close to punching his ticket in the championship 4. That is Josh Susie, who comes in as the points leader. Also has a big opportunity to clinch tonight a spot in the playoffs. As we take a look at the point standings coming on in, obviously Dylan Clark is locked in the playoffs. But as we look at the 8 drivers that are in this battle still, Josh Susie comes in up 59 points. All he pretty much needs to do is beat Brian Preslar by a couple spots, and he's locked into the championship 4. Should give our second driver locked in. But there are a lot of other good drivers out there. We got Tyler Isley, who comes in 12 points above the cutoff. Mark Sikosi is up 2. But we've seen a lot of this season, especially in the playoffs. The underdog/mid-tier drivers get the job done. Like, for example, Brian Preslar, 2 spots below the cutoff. He's also been quiet a little bit, but coming on in with 16 points below, that is Josh Aaron. And then 21 points below, Alan Crowell. 27 below is Justin Dilt. How are we feeling about all those drivers that are in a situation where they'll likely have to point their way in when it comes down to the final race at Martinsville?
Well, I think tonight really you just kind of base it off your other competitors, right? So, if you are 5th to 8th in the point standings, just kind of base your points totals off of 3rd to 4th. So, like Tyler Isley and Mark Sikosi, you're just kind of aiming to beat them. Because, Dylan Clark, he got that win. So, that was him last week, that one, right?
Clark did take home the win last week.
Okay, just making sure. I didn't want to get that one wrong. But he has the win, so he's completely irrelevant to this equation. And then Susie has so many points from what he's done throughout the year. You completely throw him out too. So you just base your stuff off of them and just do what you do every week and try to get a good points day out of it. That's really all you can do.
So we are just about set to go racing here at Kansas. Let's meet the drivers. Here is the starting lineup. On the front row, it's Josh Aaron in the 77 and Dylan Clark in the 34. Playoff drivers, the DraftKings Racing team looked really fast. They won the truck race earlier this week. Ryan Broderick and Briggs Swope, 2 drivers not in the playoffs in row 2. Alan Crowell, playoff driver, in the inside of row 3, and Landon Lacey next to him in the 66. Row 4, Kyle Milliken and Brian Preslar, also a playoff driver. Row number 5, Don DeGroot in the 61, Mark Sikosi in the 91, and then the 3 lowest of the playoff drivers, Josh Susie, Tyler Isley, and Justin Diltz. Next to Justin Diltz is Steve Stripmatter. They're in row 7. Row 8 is Ryan Chapman and Jeremy Zarfels. Row 9, Jimmy Barr and Kayla McCarthy. Row 10, Stan Mayberry and David Salter. In the 11th row, Chris Lynn, who will be racing with us tonight, along with Robbie Bice. Rounding out the field, starting from the rear, making his return, is Daniel Menzies in the 25. Tom Parra also starting from the rear of the field as well. Ethan Scott working race control for us, and we do have an update, by the way. Justin Diltz missed the call to grid, not what you want if you're a championship contender.
No, it's those small mistakes you just can't make. He hasn't even tried to get on the pit road yet, so hopefully he's doing all right.
Kayla McCarthy also in the
Hopefully that's just a
pits.
mistake.
So she will start. She will start 5 seconds of the pits, then can go out. But your weather forecast looks like this: 67 degrees the air temp, 69 is the track temp. Partly cloudy skies as the sun will start to set right now. As we get set to go green, Josh Aaron, Dylan Clark make up the front row. And where else would you rather be than right here, right now with the National Sim Racing League? Dorothy, a tornado warning is out in Kansas because the drivers are about to take over for 200 circuits. It is showtime in Kansas. And immediately it's Dylan Clark that tries to get out with the early lead. Last week's winner, trying to show what he did last week was not a fluke, that it was true. His first oval win taking place last weekend. As we've got the battle immediately heating up. Landon Lacey to the inside. Josh Aaron, though, up on the wall early. Scraping that entering turn 3. That allows Briggs Swope with a new built body bar machine to take over the runner-up spot. Some contact between Broderick and Milliken coming across the start-finish line. We're likely gonna see that a lot tonight, Ashton, because this is a track where you really want to be using the apron at the front straightaway.
Yeah, the apron's so smooth and so well it kind of works with the track on the front straightaway, so you can go down there and gain a pretty decent bit of time. It's kind of harsh coming back up, but it's a place to go, that's for sure. But Josh Aaron, though, hitting the wall lap 1. That's probably the one mistake you want to avoid here, is getting up into the wall. I know in the Coke Series, I used to run basically the bottom middle.
Oh, trouble already. That is Crowell that gets loose off of turn 2. I don't know how the car did not spin out. That was a spin waiting to happen. And speaking of spins, Kyle Milliken with a little bit of tire smoke in 3 and 4.
Another thing, too, Briggs Swope got into the back of Lacey mid-corner and almost sent him around. I mean, landed and, like any other time, probably would have been in the wall there. That's how sideways he got, but did a great job saving it, that's for sure.
Ryan Broderick in 4th position. Quickest lap of this race early here at the 31.05. But back to that battle for second between Lacey and Swope in 3 and 4.
And you see the tires are still fresh, the bottom side not working as well as the middle, but still working pretty well. And that's kind of what you got to look at here, how you got to approach this race is how long can I stay on the bottom, still make time, and use less tire? Because you use more up top. So that's kind of your equation there, and you're just trying to figure that out over time. I know for me, I would try to make about 15 laps usually, even in the truck and Xfinity car. I try to make about 15 on the bottom and then slowly move up. But with how these cars run, honestly, you might be able to just stay down there the whole time and still do all right.
Couple of playoff drivers in the battle. Josh Aaron falls off the pace as he goes back to 6th. I think there was some contact with Kyle Milliken as they are losing spots big time. We'll have to rewind it and show you what went down in turn number 2. Let's take a look. And nope, Josh Aaron, watch this. He got sideways. Milliken gets off the gas to let him keep going. A great save. And oh, he's loose once again, but this time he can't save it. Into Crowell, first yellow is out. Oh, we got more. Daniel Menzies is in it, along with Chris Lynn, Ryan Chapman. Big playoff implications, and it's taking place on lap number 7.
Goodness.
There you see playoff driver Alan Crowell stuck up in that accident with nowhere to go. Josh Aaron blowing up. He'll be done for the day and could be in a situation where he'll have to win his way into the championship for next week at Martinsville.
Yeah, that was a bit unfortunate for Josh there. You could definitely tell he was struggling with that car and he was just trying to do everything he could, but you get those snaps like that, really hard to recover, and he did a pretty good job at recovering, but the problem was, as soon as he did recover, there's a guy directly to his outside, so it was just kind of wrong place, wrong time for him.
We're watching in slow-mo as we're trying to see as well how that second pack got into this wreck as well. So there you see Aaron get loose. And once again, Alan Crowell, that was none of his business. Oh, look at that. Is that the 10 or the 24? I think that's the 24 McCarthy who locked the brakes up. And then everyone else just tried to miss it. Let's ride on board with Josh Aaron. Let's go to David Salter. There's McCarthy in front of him. And yeah, just lock the brakes up. And as Salter got into her, he got involved in that crash, and then everyone just started checking up. Let's show you Ryan Chapman. Came down into what was Salter. And at the same time, Chapman could not control his race car because he was stuck between the track and the apron. Daniel Menzies with nowhere to go on his onboard. And Chris Lynn already involved in the accident. We can tell you, by the way, early on in this race, that Ashton, we have seen some drivers that have actually decided to come in and pit. Top 6 stayed out. Everyone else decided to come in for fuel. That yellow actually helps out Justin Diltz. As remember, he started from the pits. He is up into 7th now. So he caught a big lucky break from that.
Yeah, he sure did. You know, honestly, too, he could have started from the pitch just to make sure he was out of a bad situation. That's what I assumed Kayla did as well. She ended up, I guess she kind of got in that one. Pretty sure she got a little bit of damage from it, but yeah, I mean, it could have been a calculated move. I'm down to give him that, because I think that would be really neat if that was calculated. But probably was just a little bit of luck.
Something else as well, with, again, many drivers pitted. Most of them took fuel only, but some took 4 tires. One was Ryan Broderick with a 14-second stop, if not maybe 2 tires. And then Mark Sikosi also doing a 4-tire stop. Very risky early on.
Let's see, how many tire sets do they get?
They've got 6.
They got 6, that is true. Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit risky, but the tires don't necessarily wear that much here. So, I think if there's any track that you can kind of get away with it, it's here. It kind of reacts like Texas in a way. The only problem is the tires get really hot, but if you get a caution to cool them back down, then they become harder off of curing. So honestly, it might just help you out. It's something you don't really know until you get later into the race and see how that kind of stuff reacts. But if the guys back there that took 4 have a huge advantage here, then we're gonna find out very quickly.
It's been confirmed, by the way, through a viewer that Broderick forgot to uncheck his tires, so just a heads up. Landon Lacey, Josh Susi, row 1. Tyler Isley, Brian Preslar, row 2. Jimmy Barr, Steve Stripmatter in row 3. As we come back into the Speed Demon restart zone marked on your screen, green lights are back on. So Lacey gets away with the jump, leading to Isley and Preslar going at it for third, but Susie tries to get a run to the bottom. Started in 11th all the way up to second after staying out. He wants the race lead on Lacey.
He's going to dive it down to that middle lane, straddle the bottom seam. That's where I like to run. There's a lot of grip down there. And he's going to hold it. Side draft him a little bit. Honestly, he could push him even more than that, but he's not. He's playing it safe.
Susie's got the run underneath. Low line seems to be the preferred groove here tonight at Kansas, but Lacey's still fighting back with 20 degrees of banking here.
Yeah, you gain all your advantage on the top middle exit, and that's what you're seeing out of Lacey. He's able to carry that speed, and it's making it hard for Susie to really do anything with him. But if he can get up there and really side draft him good one of these times, pull off of him, I think you'll see Susie have a pretty dang good advantage here. He's just got to neutralize the top.
Briggs Swope, by the way, is in the pits, and we can tell you that Dylan Clark has actually had a very long stop. And I mean a very long stop. We're not sure what the case could be as Lacey clears to take the race lead away at the line. Let's go to another good battle happening on track. Jimmy Barr up in the 6th position, battling with Justin Dills.
Oh, Preslar.
Oh yeah, Preslar off the pace in 2. I think he just came out of the pits. And LP did not. He's just really that slow on the track, currently up in the 10th position. And not the start that he wanted. Let's take a look at the replay here and show you what happened with Briggs Swope. Exiting pit road, he may have forgotten something. And so he brought it back into the pits, I believe. And he did. Something else I want to take a look at is with Dylan Clark. Why did Dylan have a long stop? I think there's damage on his... Oh, hang on a second. We missed this under the yellow flag. Take a look at this. As he was slow to the pace car, look at that. That is Briggs Swope right into Dylan Clark. That's unfortunate.
Is that the second week in a row we've had an accident under yellow?
I think so, yeah. I don't know what's been happening, but that's just insane and absurd. So... anyway, you got to deal with it like AJ Allmendinger said. It happened. Battle for...
That is true.
Yes, absolutely. Talked with AJ, by the way, earlier today. Asked him about that. And definitely has a lot of class, that's for sure. Change for 10th position. Robbie Bice inside on Brian Preslar. Mark Sikosi does... oh, went up to the wall. That's Jimmy Barr. Problems for the 6th of Barr, and he's all the way back into 12th and losing more. See if he perhaps got loose in turns 3 and 4 and caught the wall. He was run the outside, just lost and then overcorrected. Not too much damage, but normally when you overcorrect it, that normally means you're done for the race.
Yeah, you can knock that, if you overcorrect it into the wall, definitely knock that toe out, and that's gonna cause you a whole world of problems.
Mark Sikosi taking away the 9th position. Only in the top 4 in the playoffs, entering this race.
The problems these guys are having today, Mark's just got to make sure he kind of hunkers down and just, sorry if you can hear the barking, by the way. Hunkers down, just make sure you get solid points. It's really going to propel him forward in this playoff hunt.
Josh Stussy starting to close back in on Landon Lacey in the battle for the race lead.
Yeah, they're both running the top here. I'm not a fan of that in Susie's position. He's probably feeling something that I'm not picking up on from outside the car. but I feel like if he ran, so here's the thing here, you can run the outside, run pretty much the exact same lap times as Lacey is running, right? Or you could duck low, run the middle lane, but still have his draft on exit, and you've ran slower in the corner, use less tire, and you're just gonna look better for yourself and get that draft to pull you back up, and you're still gonna run about the same lap times, but you're gonna be better later. That should be something that Susie's thinking about. It's very, very clear that he is not. He's just going for sheer speed right now. But that's the kind of games that you got to play. It's the game within the game, so to speak. Kind of games you got to play if you really want to be ahead later in these runs.
So it's Landon Lacey that currently leads on Josh Susie, Tyler Isley, Steve Strittmatter, and Kyle Milliken. You're not going to miss a thing. We go side by side. Stay with us. We're back here. It's the Kansas 300 here at the Kansas Speedway. Mario Scalo alongside Ashton Crowder with you on the call. Landon Lacey currently leading Josh Susie by 6.5 of a second. Oh, trouble. There goes Justin Dilt. Can he save his machine? And the answer is he can, but we're under caution for the second time today. What a save, though, from Justin Dilt, Ashton.
Yeah, used that Kyle Busch apron from Daytona. That was a good job there. I think. Yeah, he swiped David Salter. And I think that gave him damage. I'm pretty sure it did. So he didn't come away totally clean from that.
Oh yeah, you're right. The sparks did fly.
It could have been a heck of a lot worse, though.
Absolutely, you've got that right for sure. Let's show you the onboard here with Justin Dilt, and just see how he was driving the number 19. Just lost it. Salter. Oh man, I don't know how Salter saved that. Oh nope, Salter did go in the grass. Something we should talk about too with these cars, you know, completely different than from the beginning of the season, obviously, as we're about to see a lot of drivers come into the pits. The big difference, by the way, is when the next gen cars were first out on iRacing, it was 550 high downforce, which means we saw pack racing, drivers going wide open around the corners here at intermediate tracks, and pretty much everyone was trying to go in a single file train. This time now, you have to actually do some work. Low downforce and 670.
Yeah, I feel like so I have a bit of a controversial opinion on this one, so get ready, folks. I feel like uh, the driving part is definitely harder with this package over the 550 one, 110%. But I feel like the lower horsepower stuff was a lot harder on you throughout a race because you couldn't just kind of play it safe for a lap or two because you always had somebody near you. Um, and with how on edge the cars were at that time, I would assume they still are probably a little bit more advanced now that people were starting to figure out balance and stuff. Both how on edge they were. I mean, it was really tough. But the style of racing has definitely changed 120%. Um, and you're not really thinking too much about draft anymore. There are situations where you're kind of riding behind someone, doing your own thing, trying to figure out what's best for you, like I was talking about with Susie and Lacey. But other than that, there really aren't many situations where you're thinking about draft with this package. So it definitely changes your mindset on everything 180 for sure.
Absolutely. Josh Susi, a long stop, puts him back to 12th. You can actually see he's got some damage onto the right side of the car and also the left side, where the exhaust pipes are a little bit. A couple of the exhaust pipes are right next to the left front tire. So that'll be something to take notes of here. Two drivers, though, not pitting. Mark Sikosi and Ryan Broderick. Broderick actually missed his pit. So technically, he won the race off pit road. Sikosi, though, I think as of right now, saving a set because he pitted on lap 8 for 4 tires. So as of now, he assumes the lead.
Yeah, and he didn't have really much of an advantage on those tires either. So I don't really think they're doing too much for you right now.
We'll have just under 15 laps to go in stage number 1. It ends at lap 45. Dylan Clark back in the pits in the number 34 machine. Again, he doesn't have to worry about winning. He's already locked into the playoffs. So we're ready to go back to the green flag here. Mark Sikosi, Ryan Broderick on the front row. Row 2, Landon Lacey and Kyle Milliken. Row 3 is Tyler Isley and Steve Strittmatter. Row 4, Stan Mayberry, Don DeGroot. In row 5, Brian Preslar and Justin Diltz. Back to green, and a great jump from Sikosi as Broderick is caught sleeping. Now let's watch the fresh tires here closely. Landon is the first one here, Ashton, and he can close in on Sikosi like a rock. Bunch of drivers though starting to drop back inch by inch.
Well, this is really good for Sikosi. He's been struggling the last couple weeks or so. I don't think he's been feeling too good, from what I understand. So he's been having a rough time with that. But him run first right now, he's getting a bonus point. And if he can hold steady for the next,
Isley, by the way, just came into the pits. Not sure the issue here, unless it's a penalty.
it was a drive-through.
Oh, Milliken loose off of 2. And yes, you're right. Isley did get penalized. And we got trouble. David Salter has brought the yellow flag out as he has backed it into the wall off of turn 2, and maybe even not just that, his third accident of the day as we're under caution once again.
I almost laughed when I just said it because of how weird it looked when he hit the wall. But poor Dylan Clark.
Oh, there was some more
Yeah,
into that.
yeah, he was he was going to avoid that, and the poor guy, it tank slapped on him, and he got sent to the outside wall so hard. I had to sucker bad for that. But yeah, I'm like giggling, and I just looked like a jerk. But that was a very unfortunate moment there for him.
Here's the onboard with Dylan. Ouch. Wait till you see Caleb McCarthy's on board. Oh boy, there was a Code Brown moment.
So I got a story for you, Marty. It was my first time ever doing any sort of commentary on a broadcast, and I had to be like, I don't know, 15 or something. It was way back in the day. 19 now, so it's good now. Well, I was doing that, and it's for this Domino's TYJ Xfinity League. That's what it was called. And I was doing it with my buddy, longtime spotter, amigo, Tanner Tallarica. And it was either here or Las Vegas, but I think it was Las Vegas. Or Kentucky. It was Kentucky. That's what it was. And it had one of the cameras, because I was watching like TV1 or TV3, one of the two. And it had a camera that was posted up on the outside wall, and I heard like tires squealing and a car go straight for the wall, and it like hit the wall so hard right in front of where the camera was, and it made like the ding sound, everything from it hitting the wall. And then I key up and I go, "What in the wall?" Or like, "What in the fence?" And I was like laughing like crazy. And then our producer, I forget his name, but he goes to commercial and then he gets on the mic. He's like, "Never laugh at a wreck again." Made me laugh even more. But that was my introduction to that, and very funny moment. I still laugh about it to this day.
That's great to hear. So,
Yes,
the
sir.
lights will go off the pace truck this time, and we'll have one more lap. Again, we are coming to the final laps here in stage number 1. What'd you think of the NASCAR race Sunday while we're at it?
I didn't watch half of it. I was like, "Oh man, it's Richmond. Nothing good ever happens at Richmond." And then I started tuning in, and then I realized very quickly that, oh my goodness, this is good. This is a very good Richmond race. And then the strategies at the end, it looked like Denny Hamlin and Kevin Harvick were going to catch the front like 2 or 3 and demolish them. But you had to watch out for traffic, so that could have killed their progress, and it did there for a while, and then pass them right at the end. I mean, it was bonkers. I loved it. What do you think?
Man, great call by Denny Hamlin, though, on pit strategy to go get that win. What I find crazy, by the way, is he actually unlapped himself and got the win.
Yeah. Yeah, that probably is the craziest part about that whole thing, besides just the overall strategy. But Richmond, it can produce some really good racing if let's say the circumstances allow it to. I think the next gen car, how it's been wearing tires and stuff, um, and heating them up pretty well too. I think it's produced those comers and goers they're talking about in preseason testing at Charlotte and stuff. So I don't think we were lied to by the guys at the NASCAR R&D Center in Concord, North Carolina, across the street from the Concord Regional Airport, Track House, and Roush Fenway Racing, or Keselowski Roush Fenway, whatever. I think they did a great job.
So we're set to go back to the green flag. We'll have 7 laps to go in stage 1. There you see the front row. Mark Sikosi, Landon Lacey, Sikosi on the outside. Steve Strittmatter, Kyle Milliken, row 2. And then Ryan Broderick and Stan Mayberry in row number 3. And stage 1 ends at lap 45.
It's going to be real important for Mark Sikosi to keep his cool here. Even if he loses a spot or two, he's still going to have a net gain in points. So it's just, he's got to remember it's not, yeah, that was close. But it's not super important for him to stay second here.
That was Mayberry in the 99 who nearly got into playoff driver Justin Dills. But look at this for second spot. Steve Strittmatter also on fresher tires. Passes Mark Sikosi for second, 6 laps to go. At this point on, Sikosi is just trying to fight for a top 10 spot, top 10 points, and then he can come in and hit for tires at the break. But he's losing spots big time, dropped back to 4th.
Oh, big crash.
And that's
Killer
Mayberry.
involved.
Oh man. 3 huge hits from Mayberry. Bison, Preslar, and Para also involved. And that is a huge one. Again, Brian Preslar, a playoff driver. Checking to see if this will do it for the stage.
I'd be very surprised if it was not.
5th yellow of the evening unofficially. Excuse me, 4th.
Yeah, Ethan, can I get that black flag cleared? It says I had too many incident points, but I didn't really do anything. I got hit.
I don't hear anything at the moment. Could be a one and done scenario.
10-4. Thank you.
But if this is the stage, that would definitely help out Mark Sikosi for sure, running in 4th position. Let's go to the replay and show you what happened with
That's the end
Stan
of stage
Mayberry.
1.
And that is confirmed, the end of stage 1. As you see the licks, by the way, that Mayberry took. So Landon Lacey, by the way, is your stage 1 winner. Do we have any other evidence with Preslar? Let's take a look. Oh, it was all started by Mayberry. So we can rewind this a little further here. There you see really how the catalyst was and all of that. But
See, that's where you need the cough button.
Oh, don't worry, I already had the cough button on.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well,
See,
how about
Preslar
that?
was trying to miss it, then once he got into the group, that's when the car just all of a sudden lost control. Let's go to Robbie Bice. Ow. Tom Para, the A&W car, another one in it. Nowhere to go. He was committed and then powering the kisser. Stan Mayberry was already wrecking in all of this and taking 3 gut-punching hits. So Mark Sikosi and all of that does get stage points at the end, finishing 4th. Everyone else is in pit road. Josh Susie and Jimmy Barr stay out. Going back to green in just a moment. Stay with us.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
We're back and we are ready to go back under the green flag here at the Kansas Speedway. Their top 2 drivers stayed out. Josh Susie and Jimmy Barr make up the front row. We're back to green. What a jump from Josh Susie. Even on the fresh tires, Jimmy Barr, meanwhile, was falling all the way back into the 5th position. Lacey with a slider on Tyler Isley. Lacey's up control. Say with Sakosi. Now let's see how the merge back goes for the 91, and it works well. But that got close to being disastrous.
Now that was really good. I mean, that is the most vulnerable position you're going to be in pretty much over the run, is that first exit off the 2 on a restart. You're so on the throttle. Both of them got really out of shape and kept it going.
Look at the smorgasbord for 2nd position. Susie is checked out of this pack by 1.6 seconds. Wow, this is a hornet's nest down the back straightaway. Isley leading this, followed by Strittmatter and Lacey and Millick in the top 5. But this is just insane racing we're having right now. In fact, here's how insane the racing is. We're not even a quarter of the way through this race. We only have 11 drivers on the lead lap. Half of the field is out of this race.
They have had a lot of accidents. There's no denying that. Just a product of how this goes, though. See it in real life, too. Really hard to hold on to these things, especially off of restarts. But, I mean, they're looking good. You see Isley, though. It's like he was doing in Las Vegas. He's running as high up near the wall as he can. That's actually not where you want to be here because there's a seam up there. And it's a lot lower grip than just kind of being in that 3rd lane. But that's where he's going, trying to make it work. More power to him.
There you saw the bump trap by Lacey entering turn number 3 as Isley's battling with Milliken for 3rd position. Steve Strittmatter ahead of this by 0.3 of a second. Gotta give credit to Strittmatter. This is a great run he is having in the number 51 machine. His 10th start of the season. Best finish, 2nd at Las Vegas, so he's always a contender when it comes to racing at the intermediates.
No, he is. Say a lot of that is, well, anytime somebody is fast in these races, it's all down to car for the most part. Can kind of outperform the car a little bit with how hard these are to drive, but you know, it's like anything like horse riding related. If you don't have a good horse, you really can't do anything. So he's got it all put together, and that's a hard skill set to have. A lot of people that are either good at setup building, good at driving, very few that are good at both, and definitely seems like he is. So he's got to be really proud of that.
Jimmy Barr starting to close in on Mark Sakosi for 7th position. Barr's got some damage from earlier on in this race when he scraped the wall. Remember, he was the one to restart in 2nd on worn tires, so not really the best decision for Jimmy to stay out. However, though, it kind of was a bad decision, but I think he's trying to save tires. He's only used up 1 set at the moment.
Now that is a very viable strategy. I know back in the Gen 6 days, we'd go to Bristol, and it'd be a 250 lap race, and guys would reject taking any tires until at least halfway through the race, and they use them all usually in the last 100 laps, and that always turned out very well for them because they could pit no matter what and just storm up through the field.
Run for Landon Lacey on the inside, battling for 3rd position. Again, remember, Lacey on the restart nearly got turned. That's why he faded back a couple of spots. But now trying to hunt down Strittmatter. Look at the gap he just opened up on Milliken in 1 and 2. Goodbye, goodbye.
Yeah, you know Landon's going to be strong. Susie's got that clean air, though. That's his advantage. But as soon as Lacey starts getting some momentum going here, he's going to be really stout on the leaderboard.
There you see the times the last 5 laps for Landon Lacey and how quickly he's closing in to Steve Strittmatter in striking distance at the moment.
I'd say this is the most parity we've had on a mile and a half thus far.
Well,
Think that's safe to say?
Yeah, absolutely. And once again, a lot of this too has to do with the fact that we've saw a lot of drivers a lot of good drivers get taken out. Like, for example, Dylan Clark, who is actually still running on track. I'm talking about drivers that are at least a lap down. Dylan Clark, Kalen McCarthy, Alan Crowell, Josh Aaron. In fact, right now we've got 3 drivers that are in the playoffs that are at this moment at least a lap down or more.
Yeah, that is tough. No, oh wow, Landon, he almost wrecked there. Tried pulling down.
You talking about Jimmy
Across the
Barr?
seam.
Who are you talking about?
Landon Lacey. He tried pulling down to get a run off the corner across 2 seams. As a very big no-no. And it almost sent him around. He'll be sitting there. Well, there's 2 options. He either knows what he did, and he's like, oh man, can't do that again, or he's going, oh man, stupid car, I don't know why that happened to me. Just blaming the world. But as good as Landon is, pretty sure he would know what caused that one. He's going to be looking to adjust later on, make sure that doesn't happen again.
Let's go back to the battle for 8th position between Barr and Sikosi. Remember, Sikosi, a playoff driver, looking for as many points as he can. Jimmy Barr, I know, yes, he does have the yellow windshield, but just has yet to update it. He's a former playoff driver. The drivers that are in yellow boxes on your screen on our timing tower and ticker, those are playoff drivers. Sikosi, by the way, a couple weeks ago, great win for him at Talladega, last lap pass on Kyle Milliken. He was highly due up for that second win.
Yeah, anytime you get one win, kind of sets your standards a lot higher than you had before. I know that happened for me, Coke Series wise. I got a race win, basically first race of the year really at Auto Club in 2020, and then every race after that I expected to be the fastest car by a mile, like I was in that race. Me and my teammate Christian Challoner, shout out to him, great guy, works for iRacing now. Never was, and then you end those races, halfway depressed because you weren't able to replicate what happened early in the year. So you always gotta be careful and make sure you be realistic about your potential.
Tyler Isley, though, starting to fade just a little bit at the moment. 5 seconds behind on Kyle Milliken, and Justin Dills has now closed the gap. About Justin Dills, I know we talked about him earlier on, how he started from the pits and got by on the first yellow, and then when everyone else came in, he got up to the top 10. And he's missed all the wrecks today, and it's led to him currently running in the 6th position. Big credit to Dills on this run.
He's doing a great job. I mean, any points he gets, he's gonna be good. Because even for people that aren't in the playoffs, we'll put them in it too. Like, their points still matter at the end of the year. So any good runs are good, obviously, but especially for Dilts, he's gonna be really happy with that. Get some stage points. We'll hopefully get some stage points at the end of this one, and things that go exactly right for him. I mean, he could be back in the top 4 hunt by the end of this, no problem. So
battle for second. Landon Lacey has come as close as he's been to Steve Strittmatter in this long run. Can't make the pass stick. Yeah, keep in mind they got Kayla McCarthy as well in front of the guys. That could be a factor. Could be a blocker for Josh Susi, whose lead, by the way, has gone down to 0.8 of a second. Lacey's got the run on the outside, and the pass is made.
Oh, Kayla. Oh no. That was almost really bad. Her and Landon are teammates, I believe, friends at least. So if they would have made contact there, that would have been very awkward in the debrief. Now it's all up to Susie now. Lacey sees him around the top there, almost wrecks. Sees him around the top, kind of knows what he needs to do. And at this point, he's going to be planning on how he's going to pass him, but oh man, Steve's fighting back. Can't think too far forward. Gotta keep it back down to earth.
So we'll step aside here as we go to break once again. Won't miss a thing here. Josh Susie currently leading, though, by just about a second on Landon Lacey, Steve Strickmatter, Kyle Milliken, Tyler Isley. Take you side by side, and once again, you're not going to miss a thing. Stay with us. Big battle for the lead starting to shape up here. Josh Susie still leading, but Kyle Milliken now up into the second spot. And he wants the race lead. What a run he's got to the inside. The Martini 42. Can he go to the point?
My man has been flying this past few laps.
Josh Susie has fallen off the pace big time in these last few laps as we take a look at the Delta. Look how much it's closed down the last 4 tenths. A tenth slower compared to the drivers behind that were also as well, when you think about it, were in the draft. Milliken leading it for the first time today.
See, the thing you always got to remember when setting up these cars is that speed doesn't matter if balance isn't there. And that's where Kyle is absolutely destroying Susie right now.
Whoa, almost got into him. Trying to side draft off him entering turn number 3. They both almost got loose and took each other out. Meanwhile, behind them, Lacey and Strickmatter are still exchanging blows for third.
I mean, this has got to be the craziest racing we've seen thus far. Like, this year. I mean, this is crazy and so close first through fourth. Very impressed.
Susie now has the lead back. Gotta give credit to Susie, by the way. Start 11th up to first position. He's led a lot of the laps today here. In fact, I believe he's led the most. And we've just got about 15 laps to go in stage 2. It ends at lap 90. Look at that. Outstanding racing all around. A battle for first, a battle for third.
If Kyle really wants to get something done here, he's going to have to put together a great corner on the bottom of Susie, and he's going to have to be aggressive for a straightaway. Make sure side drafts, gets right up there on the left rear of Susie and pulls down immediately, tugs Susie back. That's going to bring the guys behind them closer. Like right here, he needs a side draft. I mean, he needs to go up, pull straight down. It's not going to do it. He's going to actually hurt himself there. He's going to side draft himself. And now he's ruined his whole run into 3 and 4.
In fact, think about this as well. They've even opened up a gap as well on Strip Matter and Lacey, just about 0.8 of a second. 74 laps are complete.
Yeah, that's how you know the two best cars on track are first and second. When even when they're battling, they're still pulling a little bit of time. Steve is coming back up there though. He's not out of this thing yet. Let me tell you.
On board with a 51.
Big block from Susie.
So watch that battle for the race lead continue to go down. 3 cars, put them under a blanket. Lacey is faded back. I think it's in case the top 3 get into it in some aggressive racing. But here we go. Milliken tries again. Can't make the pass work that time. Everyone, though, riding the high side like a dirt track, something that was really expected in this race.
See, Steve ran the bottom, though, that time, 1 and 2. It seemed like he stayed pretty steady, and it didn't even seem like that great of a corner for him. But then he goes to the top in 3 and 4, and he actually loses time to the guys in front. I'm very much struggling to understand that.
Milliken takes the lead, but yet to clear Susie in this race. That's as far as he's gotten. Can he pull the slide job and clear? Not yet. Oh, he may have it now, and he does. Kyle Milliken out in front. Now what does Susie do in all of this, or what does perhaps Strip Matter do in this battle?
Kyle's going to be really loose with Susie on the back of him here if he runs the same lane. He does, relatively. So that's going to put the advantage back in Susie's favor. You see, he's almost spinning. That's the little games you got to play. So, you know, if a guy has a pretty decent balance in traffic, if you put him out front, obviously that balance is going to change, gets more front downforce. Car's going to turn a little bit better. But if you're right up behind him, you're just taking everything off the spoiler and getting him super loose.
0.2 of a second. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and you got to push that. And that's how you keep the advantage in your favor. Susie is super loose now, though. He's falling about 5 or 6 tenths behind.
Yeah, let's see if Steve Strip Matter, though, can get by as we're approaching 10 laps to go in this stage. Does Steve Strip Matter, I know we got a lot of ways left to go in this race, does Steve Strip Matter possibly have what it takes to get a surprise win?
Really, with how he's done on these mile and a halves, I don't think it would be a surprise at all. But with how clean his car is and the pace that he's kind of showing, he's going to be able to make adjustments here to get his car even better. I definitely think so. I think there's a high potential for that, for sure. It's going to be more so down to how much he wants it. Sure, he wants it pretty bad, but you know, it's hard to win these races. Some people can come in here, like Lacey, if he has a good car, can come in here and make it look easy sometimes. I know I've had some really good cars in the past and made it look a tiny bit easy, especially at Indy. It's crazy how good that car was. But even then, these races are still hard to win. It's hard to put yourself in those positions with how much stuff can go wrong. So you really got to be, 60% lucky most of the time.
Whoa, Susie! Loose off a 2 and a great save. Almost lost it there. And now Strip Matter is up to second spot. Something to think right now at the moment. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think you're actually about to make the same point I was, so you got it.
Something to think of, by the way, is, now this is going to be completely different, is that, Josh Susie, he's still the highest driver in the playoffs. Just got to pretty much be a couple positions ahead of Brian Preslar, and Susie will have clinched a spot in the championship 4. And right now, the gap is up there for sure, where he'll be fighting for a championship, and all those thanks to those playoff points coming in.
Well, it's very different than the one I was going to make. That is okay by me. Now, though, Steve, him being in second and having a gap to first, this is... Oh, Landon in the wall hard.
Big one for Landon Lacey, and it's brought the yellow flag out. Not what Landon wanted at all, and he has called it a night, I believe.
He has. He just got loose and got unlucky and overcorrected. I mean, there's really
Bam!
Yeah, there's really not much you're able to do there, sadly.
Checking to hear as well if this could be the stage 2. As of right now, currently communications are silent. But Landon Lacey is out of this race. That only leaves 9 drivers on the lead lap. Will be 10 though. Next time we come back to green. Our 5th caution of the day, and this is actually our first caution in the stage after a wreck fest for stage 1.
Going to assume with them pitting here that this is going to be the stage. I could be wrong though.
Everybody is pitting. And so we believe this is the stage. So with Kyle Milliken coming on in, he gets, I believe, his first stage win of the year. So we'll step aside and come back to restart in just a moment.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
We're back here, and we believe we are ready to go for stage number 3 with only 10 drivers on the lead lap at the moment. It's Kyle Milliken, Steve Strittmatter, row 1, Josh Susie, Ryan Broderick, row 2, row 3, Don DeGroot, Justin Delt, row 4, Brian Presler, Tyler Isley, and row 5, Mark Sikosi. Jimmy Bart is in the rear of the lead lap. Don't forget next week, cutoff day at Martinsville Speedway, who will be the final drivers to race for a championship in Phoenix in 2 weeks from now. That will take place. The race at Martinsville begins next week at 8:45 p.m. Stay tuned for who will be broadcasting that event. Milliken brings them back to green after unofficially having a stage 2 win. I tell you, by the way, that every driver pitted under caution. Milliken goes up the racetrack, see what this does for Strittmatter. That's a very odd top 3 we had in 1 and 2 for a couple of seconds. Milliken, Strittmatter, or Broderick. Broderick side by side with Susie entering 3. I tell you, by the way, Ashton Crowder, by the way, had to leave for temporary reasons. He will be back with us on the next broadcast. It was Broderick at the line who takes 3rd. Oh no, Broderick loses. Oh, wow. Wait. Oh, dog. Gets the wall. And we're under caution once again. Ah, man. Turn 2. Calamity corner. That man just about had it saved. But turn 2 really biting everyone in the rear end. He's right on board as the rear end got light on Broderick. Let's pause here. We'll go with the gyro cam. He had it. He had it. Oh, man. That correction right there just put him in the wall and likely end his race. He's back. Nope, he's still on track, though. The road not yet open, but I don't think anyone will come in. So while we are at it, let's listen to the driver chatter.
Well, they don't need to be too big. It's not left to fit.
Lucky Dog coming high.
All right, so we're ready to go back to the green flag. It's Kyle Milliken, Steve Strittmatter, row 1. Josh Susi, Don DeGroot, row 2. Justin Deltz, Brian Preslar, row 3. Makar Sikosi and Tyler Isley in row number 4. And Jimmy Barr, Ryan Broderick rounding out the top 10. Ten drivers on the lead lap as we're back to green. Josh Susi underneath on Steve Strittmatter for the runner-up spot. Let's see if Susi can rebound after having a tough, long run at the end, losing the lead to Kyle Milliken. Tries to slide up on Strittmatter, nearly pinches him up in the wall. Close quarters racing at its finest. You got Don DeGroot up in 4th, yet to talk about him. Strittmatter losing a little time to Josh Susi as we speak. While Milliken opened up his lead to a 3/4 of a second lead. Jimmy Barr off track. Through the grass, nice save. Best battles on track are mid-pack. Tyler Isley is fading all the way back up to 7. Don't go up there, there's no room. That got close for the 17. Isley up the outside. I'm going to take this opportunity, by the way, while we're at it. Turn up your volume. It's time to crank it up. Battle for the lead is on, meanwhile, between Kyle Milliken and Josh Susi, holding the line on the 42. Right there, let's see if he tries to make a run to the inside. The big key here is for Susi, do the same move Milliken do and just try and side draft off of him going on the exit of turn 2. See if he can get it to go here. Car length and a half separating the top 2. Best battle on the track. They've had a great battle since stage number 2. The rear end. Susie a little loose off of turn number 2. Was too close for comfort there. Susie yet can't make a move. Get highest driver in the playoffs at the moment. Seems like right now, Milliken's got the advantage on the entry. Susie's got it on the exit. Clark Savage, by the way, in chat, thanks for watching. Wondered how a car drives the pace truck and takes the leader out. Yeah, I'm baffled on that too. You're not alone, man. And I think that's actually happened for the 2nd straight week. Again, continue to watch the battle for the lead. Nobody looks to be currently ahead of the race leaders. Oh, bad exit from Milliken. Susie trying to close in, but doesn't take advantage of it. Milliken, another bad exit. Have his tires gone to where? Perhaps. Look who else is closing in. Steve Stripmatter. Gap down to a half second. Milliken's now having trouble on the entry. Susie trying to take over big time here. He knows he's got a faster car than Kyle Milliken. Susie was faster by 300ths last lap. This time, Milliken's actually faster by 100th of a second. And because Susie's not taking advantage of it, Steve Stripmatter is closing in. Let's see what he does here in this invasion. Doesn't look down to the inside for the lead. And here we go. Susie inside, goes for the advantage. Susie led at the line with 91 to go. And he clears up, slides up on Milliken. And Josh Susie can try and pull away. And now look at Stripmatter. Inside for second. No, he cuts it back. Josh Susie, by the way, in a situation where regardless of if he wins, finishes second, from this moment on, is currently guaranteed a playoff spot. But 3 cars all under a blanket at the moment. Gonna step aside here and go to break, but you're not gonna miss a thing. We're gonna go side by side. Stay with us here at Kansas Speedway. Big wreck amongst the top two as we just come back. Kyle Milliken and Josh Susie get into each other, and the yellow flag is out. You've got to be kidding me. Hard racing for the lead, and the top two take each other out. And for one of the drivers in the playoffs, looking today to clinch his ticket, punch his ticket in. I think it'll still happen with that, but it'll be tough, and he's not happy with Milliken. Their trading mode blows on track. Ding, ding, ding. Take a look and see what happened. Milliken just pinched off Susie, it looked like. Here it is from the aerial shot. This will give you a better idea. And yeah, Susie held his line and Milliken just pinched him up. And that absolutely does change everything. See if we got another, give you another angle. And you can tell right there, Milliken really did come up. Right on board. Right there. A chance for Milliken to get that long-awaited first win of the season. Not going to happen tonight for sure. Right on board with Susie here.
Pace car, 26.
Right there. Wow. I'm still speechless. So now look who's out in front. Steve Stripmatter. This is awesome. For the second time this season, he's led his season high. Thanks to all those yellows under caution. So with all of that now, that takes out another playoff driver in this race. Only 4 down, and the highest is currently Tyler Isley in second spot. Justin Diltz up to 4th. Mark Sikosi 5th. Brian Preslar 6th. A lot of gaps are going to be coming down tonight, that's for sure, on the points leader. But as of right now, they're all hoping that Isley gets involved in a wreck next. But I think from what we've learned after what just happened, Steve Stripmatter is the best driver on track. Stripmatter is a 4th car, by the way, in the DraftKings camp. So things will get a little interesting now that 2 of the 3 fast ones are out. And could this be a dominant one now for Steve Stripmatter? Those are you see the drivers that are still left on track. I think that's 9. This is turned down to a full stripped clash at the moment. Correction, just taking a look here. 8. 9, 10. 10 drivers we have on track at the moment. Steve Stripmatter leads, has the inside. Tyler Isley next to him. Don DeGroot, Justin Dilch, row 2. Tyler Isley, by the way, don't count him out. He's won on intermediates this season, including at Charlotte. That's the last time he won. We're back to green. 80 to go. Says goodbye to the field like a bat out of hell as DeGroot goes down low. Second spot can't work for him. Teammates out of the Speed Demon camp. Slide job from Sikosi on Dilch. Sikosi up to 4th. That's, I believe, the highest he's been so far in this stage today, but he's got more. Perhaps a 2 for 1 for the 91. 3rd away from Isley. Now Sikosi is the highest playoff driver on track. Everybody pitted on lap 117, so everyone came in under the yellow. I believe at this point on we have a one-stop race to the end, and it could have fuel mileage implications as well. Justin Diltz inside on Brian Preslar, taking away the 5th position for now. But Preslar could fight back. Well, Sikosi slamming the door shut on Isley in 3rd position. We're not showing you the drivers in 6 through 10, by the way, on your screen for those wondering. It's just because, you know, we have a field of 20 cars, and if we show you, you'll see so many lap down cars and so many outs. I mean, is it even worth it to show you that graph? At this rate on, when we hit lap 200, there's only going to be like 5 cars left in this race. Who knows? Isley around the outside and goes back up as the highest playoff driver. He is in 3rd. Steve Stripmatter, meanwhile, has opened up his lead to a 1.2 second advantage. Amongst the drivers in the DraftKings camp, I believe only they have yet to win a race, and Steve Stripmatter could be the one that leads them there. Ryan Broderick after hitting the wall. He's also in this race, currently in 7th position. Was a contender as well earlier on in this race too. Brian Preslar also dodging some of the wrecks. Not all of them, but currently in the 6th position. Sikosi, though, off the pace big time. He's fallen back as Clark and Barr enter pit road. I tell you, by the way, that Dylan Clark, I believe, has pulled it off the track. We're not sure if this is from a crash or if he... Oh, yes, this is. Him and Jimmy Barr get together. Outside wall and no caution. Probably thinking that should have been a caution, but at the same time, you know what I'm thinking? I don't want any more damn cautions. I want this race to go to the end, that's for sure. Because obviously we've got a busy day tomorrow. Well, I got a busy day tomorrow with the Masters, having to watch Tiger Woods tee off at just past 10 o'clock, so of course I'm going to watch that when he goes up to the first hole. Justin Diltz, though, starting to close in on Mark Sikosi. Justin Diltz perhaps having one of the best runs of the season at a track that is not a super speedway. He's been in pretty much all the races this season. He had a 3rd place finish, though, at Darlington and 5th at both Charlotte and Atlanta. Those are the best. Those are the 3 best finishes he's got in the intermediate. That 3rd place finish at Darlington is his best finish of the season. But it's Steve Stripmatter that continues to show the way on Don DeGroot, Tyler Isley, Mark Sikosi, and Justin Dilch will step aside as we go side by side once again. Just approaching 65 laps to go here as we welcome you back to live coverage of the Kansas 300. Big shout out to our sponsors tonight, Speed Demon Setups, Graphics and TV, Butt Kicker, Elevate Outdoors, and Affordable SEO and Marketing. Mario Scala with you on the call here in this final stage. Give you a full field rundown as we have yet to do that tonight actually. With all the craziness that's been happening, yet to do a full field rundown. Steve Stripmatter is the race leader, up by 1.7 seconds on Don DeGroot in second. DeGroot, by the way, as I'm going through his stats, would be looking for his first podium of the year. This would be his best finish over a 4th place finish that he had at the Charlotte Roval. Tyler Isley has been riding in 3rd. Has had a good day so far. Still the highest driver in the playoffs at the moment. Mark Sikosi running in the 4th position. Justin Diltz has been having a great run, currently in P5. Brian Preslar, quiet day, but making it through clean, currently in 6th spot. Ryan Broderick, last car in the lead lap, in 7th. Jimmy Barr has called it a night in 8th position. Kayla McCarthy is currently 13 laps down in 9th position. Been involved in a couple of wrecks today. Kyle Milliken is in 10th, watching the ending of this race. Josh Susi out of the race, currently in 11th after Susi and Milliken tangled, battling for the race lead. Dylan Clark back on track in 12th position. Alan Krell still on track in the 13th spot. The rest of these drivers all out of the race include Landon Lacey 14th, David Salter 15th, Jeremy Zarfo 16th, Daniel Menzies 17th, Stan Mayberry 18th, Tom Perrin 19th, actually. Thought for a moment Perez actually coming back out on the track, but nope. Robbie Bice is 20th. Briggs Swope 21st. Ryan Chapman 22nd. Josh Aaron 23rd. Chris Lynn in 24th spot. This has been the man of the hour in Steve Strittmatter. Gonna have a little bit of fun here. And bring in who is not race directing tonight, but bring in Chris Lynn because as of right now, I'm bored with nothing to talk about. So, Chris, I want a fun fact.
All right.
Does anybody have 0x tonight?
Let's find out. And indeed, there is a Mark Sikosi and
Okay.
a Steve Strittmatter
Okay.
at 0x.
So, I had a feeling Strittmatter was one of them. I did not think Sikosi was one of them. Who has the least amount of X's of those drivers that,
Are still running?
yes,
Let me look at see who's running. All right.
or anyone else in general?
Don DeGroot. Don DeGroot's next. He has 4.
Okay.
So Don DeGroot and BP, Brian Pressler, 4. Justin Diltz, 4. Isley, 4. Crow, 4. Hey, and for what it's worth, I only have 4. My 4 just hurt a lot.
Congratulations. You didn't have to get a black flag.
I got a meatball. It's worse.
Yeah, that's true. You want to know somebody else? You want to know 2 other people that have 0x tonight? Actually,
mean-
3 people.
Zarfos.
Oh, Zarfos has 0x?
Maybe he's also not running, but
Okay.
correct. He has 0x. And then Ethan, technically, but he's race control. So,
Yeah. But there's 2 other people.
I mean, you and Ashton Crowder.
Yep.
Has Ashton Crowder got an X in his life? He's an animal.
Are you
All he does is dominate.
Are you talking about in racing or relationships?
Tomato, tomato, eh?
Oh boy, he's gonna kill me once he hears that one.
Yeah, probably. That's all good, though. It's all good fun here at Kansas. Tough
Ab-
track.
Absolutely. What was your reaction, by the way, when not Sikosi, Susie and Milliken got together?
Oh no. It's like, oh no, because Milliken was fast all night. I mean, really,
Yeah.
Strittmatter, Susie, and Milliken were probably top 3 with Isley, being right behind them. So that's unfortunate. You don't want to see 2 good cars get taken out. But it looked like Milliken came up and thought he was clear. It was just maybe 6 inches, not.
And I think as well, too, DraftKings Racing, they've yet to score a win this season, correct?
In the Cup Series, but
I know they
won
won.
the
I know
truck
they
race.
won in trucks earlier.
I won that truck race with some help from Ryan Broderick, a good buddy from Posse Racing, pushed me to the win
Okay.
there.
Not
But
bad.
no, I'm thinking, DeGroot, BP, a win for BP would be massive for playoffs in general. Like he had speed at so many places all year, getting poles and things like that. If he can finish this out, maybe a little bit of luck, but Strittmatter's working with them, and Don DeGroot been great assets to the team. So, told you, I called it pre-race. Watch out for DraftKings.
Yeah, and Preslar, by the way, while we are at it, this was a situation with Josh Susie. If he finished ahead by a couple of points to Brian Preslar, Josh Susie would be in the championship for it, because I think Preslar came in 5th in the standings.
Right,
But-
he was 2 behind Mark.
Yeah.
Right.
And now how he is doing, both him and Sikosi, I think they'll move up to 2nd, and I think they'll move up to 3rd, and they'll stay in 3rd and 4th.
Gonna be tighten up going to
Actually,
Martinsville,
it
right?
would be really tight when you think of it, because Tyler Isley is still in it. We obviously know
Right.
Dylan Clark is locked in. Josh Susie we don't know about. That would be close there. Isley, I would assume, would probably be ahead of Susie.
Right. It
And
was
then
a pretty
Susie would be in
decent gap.
3rd.
Right. It's gonna be tight. We go to Martinsville, and I mean, based on the official this week, it's real technical. Anything can go wrong. I would love to be in Dylan Clark's shoes going the next week, where you can just.
Oh, I'm glad. I'm still glad if I'm Dylan Clark. That win worked out really well.
You're right, for sure. And I mean, one more shot on here. Look at Dilt's top 5 run right now. Kept his nose clean. All the bad luck's missed him. So good for him. I know he's not. I don't think he's in contention or not. He's pretty far out, but yeah, like a guy that keeps his nose clean all race.
I just got a message in chat. I think it was from Ethan. About 50 laps of fuel left. He heard, but it's gonna cut close. Do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, 50 laps of fuel. Whoever came across said that we're 53 to the end. I would.
Drivers.
They haven't pitted yet. They have to pit somewhere in stage 3.
Oh, they've got one stop left.
So, I think things are going to start getting interesting. Strip matter is flying. I hope he keeps it together, but
I hope so too.
I don't know if it's one of those where you want to be the first one on or I don't know. This is more of like an Ashton thing. I'm more the guy that wants to keep my car in one piece and hope things happen. But it's shaping up. I think you're going to see. It's cool. Isn't it cool seeing different names up there? Like, obviously, Marks and Isley have been up there all year long, but like seeing all these other guys kind of figure out this next gen car and really.
And go through a couple of changes with it too.
Right, and you see, we're used to seeing the Susies and the Caleb McCarthy's and Landon Lacey, all those guys up there, and it's cool seeing that Steve Strittmatter, Don Groot. Isley's really figured his car out though, to be honest. Like, you look at early in the year, he's had a lot of mistakes, and the last month he hasn't had them. BP putting a whole race together, Dilts, even Ryan. He had his struggles through the midsection. A lot of learnings happened here. It's fun to see, in my opinion. Really fun to see.
Absolutely. All right, Chris, I'm going to put you back in your race control booth. I'm glad I moved you up here. Fun convo, and should definitely do this possibly if next time we have under 10 cars on track.
Or you can do it anytime. That'd be fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, sir.
Sounds good. No worries. That's Chris Lynn, who's been incredible working in air traffic control all season. He's got Ethan Scott working up here with him. But anyway, we've got a battle for third developing between Isley and Sikosi, and you're going to watch that side by side as we'll step aside and go to break once again. Stay with us. Watching that battle for third as Mark Sikosi has the edge on Tyler Isley. He's been able to get that spot away. Gap is now 0.4 of a second. I'm taking a look here. I'm going to bring somebody on in here to the booth because we've been seeing the issues with field that looks interesting. I'm going to check and see if Josh Aaron has his mic on him. Josh, you got a copy?
Yeah.
All right, awesome. I was curious, man, if you were AFK or if you were still on, because I know you're still out there in the pits just watching the racing. So, you're in the DraftKings chat right now at the moment. I've been hearing stuff about fuel. How close is Steve Stripmatter right now?
He's got a little bit. It's not that close. He's got 40, 41 on this run right here, so he's not that close.
Is he gonna be good to the end or no?
No, everybody's got to go before the end.
All right. How about same with Preslar too, I'd assume.
Yep, BP, Don, Steve, they're all good. We're trying to get them lined out here and figure out the strategy, get them all at the same time.
How many laps did you say they were until they're likely gonna pit?
15, 20. Somewhere in there you're going to start seeing everybody go. 15 or 20.
All right, sounds good. What's the intensity like in that chat as you guys are looking for that first win with Strip Matter? And I mean, I guess, would you count DeGroot? I don't know, because we talked with him earlier.
Yeah. Well, it's good. It's good. They're Steve and Don. They're just out there kind of cruising. They're a little bit faster than everybody else that's left. So.
I mean, that's incredible. They've been perhaps the cleanest drivers all day, and without question, it'd be their best finishes of the year.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So we'll have to see what happens. And yeah, you're right, because as we take a look at this, DeGroot is like 15 seconds ahead of Mark Sikosi. That's incredible. And the top two, by the way, not even in the playoffs. And you got to hand it to Strip Matter if you could talk more about him. Started 14th. He's been dodging his way through all of the wrecks we've had today. And look at this. He's looking for his first win of the season.
Oh, yeah. He's had a hell of a run. We got to keep it together and get it to the end now.
All right. We're putting you back in the DKR chat, so wishing the best for you guys in these final few laps.
All right, man.
Get back in here. So that was Josh Aaron. Oops. Put him in the wrong one by mistake. I forgot that was stuff sorted out by Cup, Xfinity, and Truck. So Steve Stripmatter, again, in a situation where he is looking for his first ever win, but the yellow is out. And it's Alan Crowell. And that will bring everyone down into the pits and tighten this entire field up. And the car blew up, took it off the track. And then that's how the yellow... Now, is this a blow-up situation? Something tells me it was. It was. Now, here's the stupidest question, by the way, in all of this. So, yes, he's slowing, he's trying to get off track and get it to the pit. He's that far off the track and you're going to bring out the damn yellow? I mean, what in the hell was that call? And no offense to our guys up there in race control, but that's not a yellow at all. Like, I'm serious. Boom, right there. And where is he? That's Crowell right over there. How is that a damn yellow? Jeez, I don't know the difference between what is a caution these days and what's not a caution when it comes to drivers going off the track. So that changes everything once again. As Strip Matter wins the race off of pit road. So with that being said, that was all right, so Barth said that was an iRacing yellow. Well, iRacing, you call that a freaking yellow? Oh my gosh. Freaking iRacing. Gosh, here's what we need to do. Hear me out, all right? iRacing can't control the cautions anymore. It's got to be a race control caution. That was a yellow that did not deserve to come out. Freaking iRacing yellows. I could rant on it all night long, I tell you. That's for sure. So I was just hoping for that long run to go to the end. I mean, at the same time, at least we'll get some battles, though. So step aside, go to break once again. We'll be right back.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
And we're back here ready to come back to the green flag where we'll have 35 laps to go as Strip Matter ready to go. Strip Matter and DeGroot looking for their best finishes. Cosi looking for second on this restart. Can he get by DeGroot? Almost pinches him into the wall, but should have it clear entering through, and he does. Big restart for Mark Sikosi trying to lock his way in to the next round. DeGroot may fall back to fourth. Here comes Preslar trying to crack into the top three. Everyone able to go all the way to the end. There is one driver, by the way, on track that has, of the drivers that are on the lead lap, one driver that has one extra set. That is Steve Stripmatter. He's had 5 pit stops so far today. As you look at the pit strategy, everyone else is at 6. DeGroot trying to rebound. He's all the way back in fourth after a great long run we had. Preslar, though, up on the outside, opens the door for the 61. Jimmy Barr says, hey, NASCAR would throw it too when you think about it. Unfortunately, but it is what it is. I get NASCAR would throw it too. At the same time, though, this is iRacing. So, you know what I mean. We all have different opinions on it. Anyway, approaching 30 laps to go, and your best battle is for second spot between Sikosi and DeGroot. DeGroot's starting to close in after not the best restart. Here he comes. Sikosi almost went wide on the exit. Let's see if DeGroot uses this to his advantage. Chris said that DraftKings is sad after that, but that's pretty funny. So, we all know everyone's good to go to the end. So we'll see what happens. But look at this battle for fourth position on the track. Oh, Breslar got the wall, and he loses 2 because of it. Dilts to 4th, Isley back to 5th. Breslar's lost a lot of time just because of one simple wall scrape. Kayla McCarthy, who's currently in 8th position on the track. Oh, almost got taken out by Dilts. Be a good run for Kayla despite all the wild rides she has had today. Here we go for second. DeGroot down low. Back in the runner-up spot. Driver the 61 pull away from all of this. Pulling away big time. Go back to 3rd spot. Sikosi and Isley have had a great battle this entire day today. They want to do more in it. McCarthy in the rear view, trying to push Isley. Going different lanes. Sikosi takes the defensive line. Isley, though, has the run up top. 3rd spot. It's Tyler Isley's. You see McCarthy giving that push. That's going to affect Sikosi big time. We've got 26 laps to go here at the Kansas Speedway. Sikosi may lose 4th here to his teammate and Justin Dilts. At this rate, I would probably assume they would just work together at this rate. Five laps left. Down to a 10th and a half here in this battle for 4th. Sikosi, great run for him today. Mark started in 10th position up to 4th, and definitely the moments he needs in order to pick up some points to try and get him in the championship 4 if that has to come down to a point scenario. As for Justin Dilts, also a great run, 5th position at the moment. Tyler Isley, meanwhile, is trying to find a way to get past Dawn DeGroot, but Kayla McCarthy's right next to her. Going to slow her down. Excuse me, it's actually a half second in front of Mark Sikosi. There you see it. But it's all Strict Matter and DeGroot at the moment, top 2 DKR drivers. We talked with them pre-race before we went live on the broadcast. And they won the truck race, and they came in with a lot of motivation from that win on Monday. And, you know, we thought this was going to be a race where we would see This race be dominated by the KTS drivers and or Landon Lacey. This has been a very tough track actually in this race. In turn 2, unless your name is Josh Susi, then you had a tough situation. And got taken out by Kyle Milliken while battling for the lead, about 70 laps to go or so. Well, we're going to go to our final break. When we come back, we'll take you to the finish. Steve Strittmatter leads by 1.5 seconds. .16 laps to go here as the top two have pulled away. This is the battle to get the bottom step on the podium and to talk with me. Well, how bad do you want to talk with me? That's for sure, because it's been a wild race. And this is also a battle of 3 drivers, all in the playoffs, trying to get as many points as possible after what went down with Josh Susi and Dylan Clark today. Clark, by the way, has been able to rebound into 10th position, pick up some extra points by keeping his car out there on track. Everybody else, though, out of the race. But Josh Susi, though, out of this race, big advantage for a lot of drivers trying to close in the points, try if they have to point their way in the championship 4. And here we go, Mark Sikosi wants 3rd. Again, taking you smack down to the finish. 14 laps to go. Man, Isley almost got in that quarter panel of Sikosi. Almost way too close for comfort. Clear. Oh, Isley got the wall. Let's see if he goes for the crossover. And he doesn't. Now let's see here. Justin Diltz has lost a lot of time. 2 seconds behind on Isley. So that means this is the battle for 3rd position. Again, you see that 3rd car. That's Kayla McCarthy running in 8th spot. Highest car at this point that's been involved. She will not be able to pass any more drivers on track as her next opponent 12 laps ahead. But once we had like 9 laps to go left in this race, or 8 laps to go, I should say, she will have clinched the 8th spot on track. But again, it's been Don DeGroot in second, Steve Stripmatter, that have pretty much dominated the second half of this race. I should say the final 90 laps. We know Stripmatter had a fast car coming on into this race. And he showed it when we were halfway through. Once we started to get those long runs and the car would get dialed in. And was in third when Milliken and Sakos and Susie, who had been battling each other oh so hard in the race, took each other out. And Stripmatter took advantage of it. And you know, we've seen drivers that have been taking each other out a lot in this race today for sure. Give you a quick recap on all the craziness that's been going on as we've got 10 laps to go. Here was the first one, if we can give this to you. Here was the first one today with Josh Aaron. With Alan Crowell. And it was actually an early big one. And then Briggs Swope, actually correction, not Briggs Swope. Then you've got Justin Diltz, who got really loose in this race. Makes an incredible save. And then David Salter's rough day continued. And then Brian Preslar got more damage. And then perhaps the turning point of this race right here. Kyle Milliken trying to clear Josh Susie, and they got into it. It's been a crazy day, and Stripmatter's been able to avoid all of it. A 1 second lead on Don DeGroot, and DeGroot's been in the same path as Stripmatter. You know, he hasn't been really a contender for the lead in this race. He's yet to lead a lap, by the way, for those wondering. And in this race, he's done the same thing, dodging these wrecks. Once we narrow the field all the way down to 6 on the lead lap, or even 7 or 8, he's been able to make his way up through the field and get up to the second position. I can't wait to hear the interviews of the top 2. They may be the best we have heard, getting their best finishes. Of course, Stripmatter 6 laps away from his first ever win with the National Sim Racing League Cup Series. With the win as well, it will be the first time a non-playoff driver not named Landon Lacey will score the win. Of course, Landon Lacey has 2 wins in the postseason, coming at Richmond and Las Vegas. But for Steve Stripmatter, this is huge, and it's also huge for the DraftKings Racing clan. Will be their first ever win in the Cup Series. It took 33 tries of sadness, but this one closer and closer, and there is going to be a party. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of money being deposited in the DraftKings accounts, whether it be for daily fantasy or for the sports book. Play responsibly, by the way, but this is going to be a sight for sore eyes here. Meanwhile, Sikosi's got clear control on Isley for the final step on the podium, but actually, with 3 laps to go, Sikosi, by the way, clear control in 3rd, Isley 4th, but we've kind of started to have DeGroot close the gap just a little bit. Half a second. Stripmatter did not really have a good lap last time by, as DeGroot was able to close it down to 2/10, but those have been how the laps have been looking. And for the last 5, close to being even. 2 laps to go. And again, DraftKings Racing top 2 at the moment. DeGroot drove it in a little bit hard entering 1 and 2, and I think I could do it for him, actually. The strip matter goes high, another big send for Don. Had it on the entry and closed it down to 3/10. White flag is out with 1 lap to go. Can Steve Stripmatter do it, or does Don DeGroot have anything? It's down to a 1/4 of a second. Both drivers looking for their best finishes. Even if they finish in the top 2, it will be their best finishes. A 3-car length lead for Don DeGroot, for Steve Stripmatter. DeGroot tries to send. It's not going to work. Say hello to a new winner. Steve Stripmatter off at turn 4. First win for DraftKings Racing. DeGroot came up to the outside, was oh so close. Steve Stripmatter gets his first win. Oh my, that is just wonderful. DeGroot, though, made it interesting at the end. I think, though, it was just a situation where they just wanted to have fun. DeGroot closed in, though, by in 3 and 4. You know that Stripmatter had it, even though no matter what, if DeGroot had a chance to pull up. But Steve Stripmatter, how about that? That is awesome. A 1-2 finish for DraftKings Racing. The best finishes for Steve Stripmatter and Don DeGroot. And Steve, go do some donuts, man. You've deserved it. You've earned it. And Don DeGroot's also doing burnouts as well. The 10th start of the season for Steve Stripmatter. What a way to enter double digits this season. And you know what? We're going to get right into things and talk with the first-time winner. Steve, you did it, man. How's this feel?
Oh, it's incredible. I mean, like, I've been, like, not even believing it.
Well, I talked with a lot of the DraftKings drivers pre-race, and you guys had a lot of confidence coming in. You guys won on Monday. How did that confidence play into this into the factor?
Well, we were communicating a lot, you know, and it just helped out a lot for me as far as my setup, because Brian helped me with the setup here, because I didn't do very good on my setup, but I don't know. It just all come together. I got lucky. A lot of the big players, they ended up crashing. I don't know what happened. I just kept on plugging away, just being careful and trying to race at the same time, you know. And I almost got selected in that last big one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a close call there. And that's when I started running low in 1 and 2. And it's a good thing I did. That's what saved me, I think.
Well, this absolutely was a chaotic race for sure. And taking factor of those missing the wrecks, but when we got in that second half of the race, you really were closing down on the leaders. Even if we had that long green flag run, did you think you had what it took to get the win as we entered that second half?
I started believing it at that point because they took off from me, but then the longer the run, I started catching them. And I noticed they'd get real loose, and my car kind of stayed the same, you know, depending, you know, as long as I hit my marks, I was all right, you know, and it just, I barely made any changes to my car. That's how good it was.
Well, this has got to be an awesome one for you. Your first ever win. Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
I definitely want to give Brian a shout-out, you know, I mean, for helping me out with the setup, and Josh on the team too. He helped me out a lot, and just like I said, I'm just in awe right now. So kind of speechless, to be honest with you. I mean, it is cool to finally get a win because it's been tough in this league for sure. Gosh, I've been smoked so many times. Think I'm doing good, and then you're not.
Absolutely. Well, enjoy this win, man. Congratulations. You guys fully deserved it.
Appreciate it.
Steve Stripmatter, first win in the National Sim Racing League. Let's go to our second place winner, second place finisher, who I think for him it feels like a win too, and that is Don DeGroot. Don, best finish. How does this feel, man? I know you pulled up outside, but I think at the same time you just wanted a DraftKings Racing photo finish.
Yeah, Marty, that was a good finish, man. That was really close. Steve gave it a hell of a run. Congrats to him. Yeah, I would have needed a few more laps, I think, and then could have maybe gone for it. But yeah, in the end there, it was just a good finish for the team, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Talk about as well dodging those wrecks. It was a chaotic race, and I think if it weren't for all those wrecks, I don't even think we would be talking about you in the top 5 at all.
Yeah, possibly not. I mean, yeah, the car was good on the bottom end, just not on the top end so much. Like the high line wasn't as good for me. But the long runs was pretty strong, and yeah, just a lot of wrecks, and just had to stay in the game. That was it.
Well, I know this is an awesome one for you tonight. Who do you want to give shout-outs to on the run?
First of all, Brick Swope inviting me to the league. Awesome league, by the way. For people watching and whatnot, it's a great group of guys that we got here. And yeah, also Brian Pressler, Josh Aaron, Steve, all the guys on the team, and then of course my family, my wife and 3 beautiful daughters.
Well, we'll let you go. Enjoy this second place finish. Congratulations.
All right, thanks a lot, Marty. Thanks for the broadcast.
Appreciate it, man. A second place finish for Don DeGroot tonight. Third place finisher is Mark Sikosi. I don't know if I should say a surprising third place finish because you are the highest one of the playoffs, but just simply walk us through your race tonight.
Got a copy?
Yep, I got you now. You got me, Mark?
Yep, I got you.
All right, so just simply walk us through your race. I think it was a surprising third place finish, being the highest of all the drivers in the playoffs.
Yeah, the car was so out of control all night. Dealing with the same thing last week. We weren't really a contender. Just really about survival and taking care of the car, just kind of taking what it'll give you.
Absolutely. But, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. A lot of guys took themselves out early. I don't know what was happening. I know my car was stepping out on me most of the race. It just snapped loose. Couldn't run the top like a lot of them other guys could. Every time I'd go up there, the thing just wanted to come around. So it was really frustrating. I just couldn't drive it the way I wanted to. But we got a decent finish out of it.
Absolutely. I was wondering as well if you could talk about as well with the situation that, Susie was a part of, and same with Dylan Clark. When they got involved in the wrecks, when did you realize, this was really important to get as many points as possible to try and close in? Because, I know we got one spot guaranteed, and that's Dylan Clark, but it could be 2 tonight with Josh Susie. We don't know yet, but how important was that?
It was pretty big. We came in, I think we were 5th coming in. We were trying to just really race Pressler and Josh Aaron, but they went out early. So yeah, we were just trying to get as most points we could get. I think Susie's pretty far out there in points. I don't know if we'd be able to get him. Isley had a decent race tonight. Clark, I think he had issues, but I think Clark and Susie, Clark got himself locked in last week, but Susie, he's so far out there in points. I think he might be okay, unless he has another bad one at Martinsville. Maybe he's got a shot to he could possibly go out. But yeah, we just try to get as many points as we could. We knew who we were racing, and we just we had to take what the car would give us tonight. It just wasn't great, but we hung on to it.
Well, it was an awesome run for you tonight. Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
Oh, yeah, I can give a shout out to our teammates, Justin Dill, Jalen Crowell, and Kyle Milliken. He's been working closely with us lately. I think he's going to be joining Dilt's team here next season. We didn't have a whole lot of time to put in anything this week. We worked off of what we had last week. Still dealing with the issues here, but these mile and a halves with this new package. But we got a couple short tracks coming up, and hopefully we can get something figured out for those.
Well, we'll let you go, man. Great job tonight, and good luck to you next week.
Thanks, Marty. Appreciate it.
Mark Sikosi finishing in third place tonight. A wild one here at the Kansas Speedway as we give you our official results. First ever win for Strip Matter. 36 thousandths of a second was the margin at the end. I didn't really think about Don DeGroot closing in that much, but I don't know if Strip Matter was driving it harder than he was supposed to, or if he was just conserving, just taking it easy. Man, that was crazy in all of that. Let's show you as well rest of the field here on your screen, and it was absolutely a wild one. Let's go back to the finish, and we're going to show you that final lap, and we're going to go drone shooting here and just show you for the folks at home how close it was. So there's DeGroot in the 61. Run off at turn number 4. Oh man, bad exit from Strip. DeGroot had a chance. There was the block, the outside, yeah. Oh man, that was closer than I really thought. Man, oh man. But an awesome race here tonight. Again, tune in next week at Martinsville to find out who's going to be racing for a championship. We know obviously still 1, Dylan Clark. We don't know if it's 2 with Josh Susie. Points will be updated on the National Sim Racing League website at nationalsimracing.com. That will do it for us tonight. On behalf of everyone at NSRL, from Justin Dills to Mark Sikosi, working in air traffic control, Chris Lynn and Ethan Scott. On behalf of my broadcast partner tonight, Ashton Crowder, Marty Zakala signing off. Congratulations to Steve Stripmatter. First career win in the National Sim Racing League. Thank you all for joining us. So long.